Hey you guys, today we're continuing the Persona 5 Scramble breakdowns with Skull. We'll look at 4 different videos that had notable scenes for him. These are his character trailer, the November 4th update, the November 26th update, and a live stream. Let's start with the character trailer. The character trailer's first bit of combat starts off with what appears to be Skull's normal combo. This shows Skull swinging in downward arcs before jumping forward with a kick. After he lands, he ends with a strong slice. This is a nod to his combo from the original game. The next clip shows another angle of this combo. If you look at Skull's weapon, you will see that it changed from a pipe to a kind of mace. It's a small detail, but I love when games show the different weapons you equip. The next scene shows Skull using his persona to use a thunder skill. Right at the start of this scene, we see an effect around Skull. This is his special charge mechanic, which we will talk about in a second. Anyways, this next attack is a diving kick attack. We actually saw a similar attack from Sophie, so maybe this is a general attack that all the characters can trigger. After these diving kicks, we see Skull start another combo. This next scene reminds me of the interactable cards you could use to damage enemies. I assume this is the same idea, except with an elemental attribute associated with it. What I want to know is if this is left over from another character's skill, or if it is just one of the area's interactable elements. We do see an ice castle in one of the updates, so that is probably the likely answer. Up next, we see what seems to be a charge shot where Skull shoots out a ton of bullets. It's a little odd that the camera zooms in on one of the enemies after damaging them, though it is possible it was just for a cinematic look. We then get a look at a couple of Skull's unique mechanics. The first is his Guts ability. This improves defense and boosts his resistance. The next mechanic is his Charge ability. Holding the attack button will let you charge up an attack, which increases its damage and range. From this scene, it looks like you'll be able to have at least 3 levels you can charge up to. The scene cuts to show what this charge attack will be. This has insane range, and his persona appears to dash forward, throwing up waves on either side. The effect for the charge attack looks pretty similar to the effect seen when shooting this charge shot here. One last thing to note about this is that while charging, you will be able to dodge, so you can still use this strategically during battle. A huge thank you to EverGlow, I hope that I pronounced that right, who linked me to a Persona Central article detailing these mechanics for Skull. This info was from a special demo event, and I'll have the full article linked in the description in case you want to take a look for yourself. Anyways, the last scene of the character trailer shows Skull's Showtime attack. Skull is crouched low to the ground as his persona shoots into the air. The bullet flies around as Skull dashes forward and jumps into the air. The bullet flies up and circles around him before Skull charges up and smashes the bullet down towards the ground. This explodes and rains down lightning on a large area. It seems like this attack throws enemies into the air and keeps them hanging above the ground somehow. And that is it for the character trailer. Let's look at the update videos. The November 4th update had 3 scenes. The first scene showed Joker tossing the baton to Skull. There seems to be a boss or sub-boss here as indicated by the health bar at the top of the screen. These symbols here make me think that it has some kind of armor that can be destroyed with enough damage. The scene then cuts to show the same 2-hit dive attack we saw earlier. Maybe this is a situational attack where if you are in the air above a grounded enemy, you will dive towards them to attack. After Skull lands, he does 2 hits before he charges up an attack. It's really cool to see this charge mechanic fitting in so fluidly during combat. The last scene of this update is just Skull's normal combo. The last hit of this attack though has some decent throwback if it connects with an enemy. Let's move on to the next update. The November 26th update also had 3 scenes. The first scene showed Skull using a lightning skill with his persona before dashing down to the ground. You can see the armor icon here halfway decreased. Skull dashes through the air one more time and then rolls out of the way of an attack. The second scene showed another lightning skill, and the last scene showed different move options for Skull while also showing the different attributes associated with the interactable objects. Now let's move on to our last section, the live stream. There were quite a few moments in the live stream where the devs showed off Skull. Like I have been doing though, I will only point out notable scenes that showed off a new move or mechanic so as not to repeat myself and waste your time. The first thing in the live stream that I saw was the different charge attacks you could pull off. When it was fully charged, the effect changed. This fully charged attack showed Skull jumping into the air and slashing downwards as his persona attacked with an orb of lightning. It seems like depending on when you start the charge, you will get different attacks. Charging at the end of the combo will have Skull using his persona to call down multiple casts of thunder. The next thing I noticed was a unique animation for when Skull is on top of a street lamp. It's a small detail, but I like how each character has a different animation for this. The next part of the live stream showed Skull using his Guts ability. A yellow aura can be seen around him while his Guts ability is triggered. We also got to see Skull's air combo during the sub-boss, and it looks similar to Joker's air combo. We don't get to see the combo finisher since Skull dashes away, but I wonder if the base combos will be the same across the characters, and the combo finishers will be unique to each one. During this scene, Skull also uses the dive kick attack we have seen previously. It's still not clear what really triggers this. It could be a height difference or a different button that triggers it. The last thing I saw was the special ending to the all-out attack. Skull thrusts his arm into the air as fire spirals up around the enemy. Chains fly across the screen and the words "Take Your Heart" appear. I assume this triggers against boss and sub-boss enemies when you trigger an all-out attack. That could be wrong though, so if you know, let me know down below. And that is all I have for you guys today. I always like to end these Persona 5 Scramble videos by saying that I'm sure I missed something in terms of combat or mechanics, so be sure to let me know of any involving Skull in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, be sure to share this with someone you think will like it. If you want to see my breakdowns on Joker or Sophie, click the cards on screen. Subscribe or share this and I will see you in the next video.